We're live. I'm not live. No laughing over there.
Wait, why would one of you go start that for him? You know he's a
No, I'm good. I'm good.
He's good.
All
Horrible.
right. Okay, are you guys ready?
Yeah.
Okay. All right. Someone told me that you need to like clap before a podcast or something, like to like sync the sounds or something. I don't know.
Should we
anyway-
do it at the same time?
No.
That wasn't even a thing.
It's not even a thing. Okay.
I didn't even start it there.
All right. All right, everybody. Welcome back to episode 3 of the CAPPY Hour podcast. Today is July 1st, 2024. It's a beautiful day outside. I got Kevin Chu with me. Antonio, welcome to the podcast.
Thanks for having me.
Yeah, man. How's everything?
Great.
Everything's great.
Everything's great.
So great to have you here.
I know Mondays. It's a little
I know
short.
we're not used to seeing you on Mondays.
I know.
But
Happy Monday. Let's
happy
do it.
Monday. Let's do it. Let's do it. Speaking of Mondays, Kevin, how was your weekend?
We had a birthday party, but otherwise it wasn't too eventful. I'm definitely looking forward to this weekend where we have our baby shower.
Yeah.
I don't know what to expect. I don't know what to feel or like stuff like that.
Well, as the father, you should feel like nothing because this day is for your wife. And this is for Madison and not for you.
Yes, yes, and I feel like nowadays it's more popular that it's more Jack and Jill.
Yes.
Which I kind of like, but I also kind of don't like. Before it was like the guy kind of shows up and maybe at the end.
Yeah.
But now I'm kind of like in the details of it.
Okay.
I don't know. I think it should be just for the women.
It should be. And the men should get to go golfing or something.
Yeah.
Now,
Kevin, let me ask you. Are you a man who likes flowers? Would you appreciate flowers if you got flowers?
You know, the only time I ever got flowers was Madison actually gave me flowers one time, and it felt good, but it also felt weird because it's never happened before.
interesting.
Would you like getting flowers, Joe?
So for Valentine's Day one year, my wife got me a bouquet of bacon flowers.
Bacon flowers.
Bacon. So they're bacon roses. So they were edible roses. It was like bacon in the shape of like a rose.
Okay.
And they were delicious.
Oh.
So yeah, but I have never received flowers before from a significant other.
Really? Do you know what hydrangeas are called? I mean, hydrangeas are.
Yes.
It's like the flower that's like really popular this season.
Yes.
I've like developed like a liking for them recently.
Really?
Yeah.
It's funny you say that because I have a bunch in front of my house that I think maybe like 6 years ago our landscaper gave us, and they had them in our backyard, and then we finally moved them to the front, and they are just flourishing. Huge flower, purple.
Oh, those are the best.
I went up the page. I'm like, well, did you change something in the front? She's like, no, they looked great.
They're
They look
beautiful.
great this year. So.
Have you ever received flowers?
I have actually. My
You
girlfriend
have?
gave me a single rose one time.
Oh,
Loved
How'd
it.
that make you
I'm
feel?
It made me feel so good.
I'm
Yeah?
a huge fan of the single
Single
rose.
rose.
That's like my go-to move.
Yeah.
Even when you're giving it to
I give the single rose on a random Wednesday.
Now,
You know.
did you always do that?
Yes.
Did you not feel like stingy or cheapy when you did that?
I thought she appreciated the gesture more than spending money on it. It never came across as like that. So I remember once I was, in 7-Eleven getting something, and I saw like a rose sitting there, and I pick it up and I go to the register, and some guy goes, "You only getting one rose?" And I'm like, never underestimate the power of a single rose.
Ooh.
I'm telling you, it's like,
Now, do you always get a red rose?
if I do the single rose, yes.
Okay.
But roses, I've gotten different colors.
Okay.
I've gotten white. I know there's certain rules for the different colors, right? Have we talked about that?
rules?
Have you
I
ever-
don't know.
I remember.
Yeah,
I remember
we had
one
this
time
conversation
I
once.
got roses, and I was planning on getting white roses, and then Corey's like, "Don't do that."
Don't do- right? Okay, this definitely happened. We had this
It did happen,
conversation.
It did happen.
We've had this conversation before.
I love flowers.
You love
Get me a
flowers.
flower, I love it.
Let's get Antonio flowers for his birthday.
Kidding? Let's do it.
Let's do it. Okay. Since we've had our previous episode,
Mhm.
NBA Finals is over.
Mhm.
We were kind of talking about that. Celtics, sorry, Kev, crushed
All right,
crushed the
whatever.
Mavs.
Whatever.
And Stanley Cup went to Game 7. That was awesome. That was amazing. That was
Yeah.
really fun to watch. But now that's over, so now we just have baseball. Let's go.
I've been watching a little bit of baseball. It's still really hard to get into it. So we had a birthday party as I mentioned earlier, and the whole dinner table is Yankee fans yesterday, and then someone was asking me like, "Are you Yankees or Mets fan?" And then knowing that they're Yankees fans, but I was still like, "What? Baseball's boring." And
My
everyone looks at me at the dinner table like, "What do you say?"
Oh my God,
Joe,
I
this
can't.
is a 2v1
That-
here, man. I'm gonna have to back Kevin up on it.
That is, I get what you're saying. I just find it to be like you're not giving it a chance. Baseball is fun, dynamic, exciting. There's so much downtime, but I could say that about a couple other sports too. So, you know, baseball is like my true like love and passion.
Yeah.
I like love it.
Now the boys do play.
Yeah.
Is it called t-ball when they're
Well,
young?
Park plays t-ball. The boys are playing baseball with coach pitch.
Okay.
You can't call it t-ball. They'll get upset.
Okay. Now, when you're watching, like Parker play t-ball or they play baseball, because they're so young, does it not bore you in a sense?
Oh, it's so boring.
Exactly.
It's so boring. But a lot of fun, happy moments come from the t-ball field.
Okay.
They're like learning things or figuring out. Every once in a while, someone like catches a ball, and you're like, everyone go like erupts. Like, oh my God, I can't believe they just caught a ball. You
Yeah.
know. So, as a parent, you know, I think me and my wife talked about this. It is a tough watch, but you know, when the kids are that young and they get into sports, there's like a huge social component to it. Like they're on teams with all their friends. It's
Okay.
even as a parent in the stands, like you're hanging out with all these parents. There's a fun social component to it. So
Have you ever been to a baseball game?
Professional?
Yeah.
Yeah, a long time ago.
What did you like it?
I mean, when you leave at the 5th, 6th inning, you don't really stay till the 9th. I mean, that should speak for itself.
yeah,
I think it's just like the ambiance. Is like if you're not a true baseball fan, you go for the ambiance. You know, like
oh yeah, when you first see the green grass
Yeah.
and like first walk into the stadium, it's impressive.
everybody's got a beer in their hand, hot
yeah.
dog in the other. I don't know. I
It's-
mean, it's cool and all, but
It's a good time.
yeah.
Do professional baseball players play on grass?
There's grass and then there's turf.
Okay.
Yeah, I'd say most stadiums are grass.
All right. I have a would you rather for you.
Okay, what do you got?
So I saw this somewhere, I believe on Instagram. Would you rather have $500,000
Mm-hmm.
up front,
Okay.
or you get front row tickets to any sports game, anytime, whenever you want for the rest of your life?
I'll let you answer this one.
Oh
first.
my God,
Or do you want me to answer it?
I thought I was gonna have to think about that for a while, but I think I would take the sports game.
Really?
Yes.
Really?
$500,000 is a lot of money, and you could probably buy a lot of tickets to
Of
games if you
course.
wanted to. Like you could look at it from
Yeah.
that perspective. But to be able to sit front row of every Super Bowl, every World Series, like
Ooh, I didn't
just
think
like
about the Super Bowl
yeah,
aspect.
no, like a World Cup, you're like right
Well,
there.
the front
Like
row of the Super Bowl is already probably
that
half the cost.
that could be like 50 grand. That could be plus. A box is like 250,000 $1 million boxes in Super Bowls.
What do you think?
I'm taking the 500 grand.
Yeah, I
Yeah.
get it.
I don't want to deal with the traffic afterwards.
I think I'll take the tickets.
Would you?
Yeah.
There's just like there's so many sports. There's so many great sports moments that like
Yeah.
you could throw yourself right in the middle of. Like I feel like that's what a great experience that would be.
Yeah.
And you're
Like-
saying anytime?
Anytime.
So I want to go to a game tomorrow. I
Yeah.
get front row tickets.
Yeah.
No, I'm still taking 500.
Then why did you ask that question?
All right. So that's a would you rather. I mean, normally at this point we talk about the question of the day. Do you want that to be the question of the day,
I mean,
or did you have something in mind for the question of the
That's
day?
a pretty good one. I'm not gonna lie.
all right. Well, you guys can answer that in the comments if you want as well. But this past week I've been thinking about, like, even more so thinking about the buzz cut that we were talking about in the office.
Okay, that's right.
And a lot of people are saying no. But I honestly think if we learn how to fade the sides and just cut the top, it'll be manageable.
Wait, do you want to preface your plan first? Did they know what your idea is? They're
What?
aware of what the plan is.
That
moving
Madison's
forward.
gonna cut my hair. Yeah, so Madison's gonna cut my hair.
This is happening.
Well, okay, so here's another thing. I asked her what she thinks about me cutting my hair.
Okay.
She said no. I don't know if your girlfriend does this or Paige does this, but they'll say, "Do whatever you want,"
Yeah.
and I'll take
They
that
don't mean
so
that.
literally.
Yeah.
Even though I
They
know
don't
that they
mean
don't
that.
mean that,
No,
but
no.
she
Mine says don't cut your hair.
oh really?
Yeah.
Well, I said, "Should I cut my hair?" She said, "Do whatever you want." I'm like, "All right, I'll do it."
Kev, I mean, I think it has the potential to look good on you, but you do have like pretty awesome hair. So I would be inclined to not want you to cut your hair.
Yeah.
I mean, so you're trying to save money. Have you ever thought about going in the other direction and just growing it out and not cutting it?
Well, because now you're going to the extremes. Last year you had the
Oh, the top knot.
yeah,
Yeah, we had the.
and now you want to go all out. Just cut it all off.
Well, you know what? If I just let it grow, I would save even more money and not have to buy clippers.
That's fair.
Just keep letting it grow.
Yeah, I kind of like it.
Oh,
I kind of like it. Both ways, you're saving money.
that's a good point.
It's a good point.
I don't know. Do whatever you want.
Do whatever you want. I know. You have such beautiful hair, Antonio. So like you know,
Thank
you of course you wouldn't want someone to cut their hair, right?
Right.
Yeah.
And I wouldn't want you to, face the repercussions from your fiance.
Yeah. Yeah, there's that too.
There's that.
All right. Let's talk about what's going on at CAPPY. Right now, feels like we're in the middle of the summer. 4th of July is Thursday. You could tell by the schedule; it's definitely a little bit lighter, but
Yeah.
still all good. So hopefully everyone has a happy and safe 4th of July out there. This Tuesday we have trigger point therapy here, and then we're closed on Thursday, but back open Friday and Saturday. You got 4th of July plans? Oh,
Not yet.
you know?
No, not yet.
The baby shower is
Saturday.
Okay. Okay. You have 4th of July plans?
4th of July plans are as follows: work and
You have work on 4th of July?
I have work on 4th
Is
of
it a
July.
DJ thing?
Yeah,
You gonna play like Party in the USA, kind of?
that's a good one.
Oh my god, I can't.
That was a good one.
All right. So next thing we're gonna do is we're gonna talk about physical therapy
The PT
because
question of
that's
the day?
what we're here for. I didn't actually get a PT question of the day.
Actually comes from Joe Capri.
It actually comes from me. So
Go ahead.
I woke up this morning and I'm in, let's say, 7 out of 10 complaints of lower back pain. Right-sided, it is my usual pain. I experience this pain once every 3 years. It is not fun. Struggling to sit, struggling to move. And we're going to kind of talk through what I do for myself. What would I do if I was a patient walking in the door? And then, you're going to kind of chime in on the exercises and stuff like that of how we would handle this, right?
Okay.
So I will admit, I did just go to urgent care to get a steroid pack and muscle relaxers just in case I need a little extra firepower for my back pain. Right now, this does not seem like the worst my back has ever been. I feel like hopefully I could nip it in the butt real quick and turn everything positive. So, all right. So I walk in the door. I'm a patient. I got this back pain. I'm evaluating everything. One thing I could tell is that my pelvis is way off.
Mm-hmm.
I've been sitting on hot packs all morning, trying to loosen it up. And every time I sit on the hot pack, it feels good. But every time I sit for too long, I feel worse afterwards. So it's like this tug of war of symptoms. So definitely heat on the lower back, then manual therapy on the back. So instrument assisted work on the lumbar erectors, getting into the glute a little bit, Antonio, you helped me out before. That was actually really good. I'm very, very
That was a lot of
impressed
fun.
with
So,
your
listen,
skills.
I learned from the best.
There you go. There you go.
Shameless.
No,
plug.
what you really did well was like getting into the trigger points in my glute,
Uh-huh.
my piriformis.
Yeah.
The scraping, obviously good to help reduce the tension. And then one of the things that we like to focus on here is hip flexor and the hip flexor's involvement in low back pain. So I could just feel like my pelvis is rotated, my hip flexor is tight as can be. And when you got in there and did that psoas release, I could immediately feel the connection from your palpation of that trigger point and my SI pain. It's like spot on.
That's crazy.
So no, yeah, it's very cool to experience it from this perspective. Like I'm in pain and I treat people who have this all the time. So I just really find, traditionally what PTs have done for a long time, and I know people still do, is that they always hyper focus on hamstring flexibility and things like that. And I've had such good results kind of attacking it from the other side. Like your back was bothering you that day, and we got in that psoas, and once it kind of like relaxed, it's like everything returns back to normal.
I've actually been like incorporating that a lot more, even if people don't kind of complain that their hip is also feeling the symptoms.
Yeah.
I just feel like it's just so intertwined that it
course.
helps the other way.
It's not even, some people would not even be aware that the tightness in the front could affect their symptoms in the back. They don't make that connection. So
I want to play devil's advocate here because since I still currently am in school,
okay,
I want to like pick your brain.
Yeah, what do you got?
In school, it's interesting to hear certain perspectives and opinions because you're preaching the psoas release, and I could sit in class and they'll tell you like you can't palpate the psoas.
Yeah,
you can't palpate it. So if you're doing this and doing that,
love it. This is great.
Yeah, like,
great question.
I wanna hear your thoughts on it because sometimes I sit there and I'm questioning. Is it true? Is it not true? So you're really trying to you're battling back and forth what to believe, who to believe, and
so you're saying that are you trying to say that in school they're teaching that because you can't feel it that's not actually working?
Exactly.
Yeah.
But isn't that the same concept as can you really feel the performance? Because it's so deep.
That's another good one too.
So the way I like to describe it is like there's no one system that contributes to your pain. There's so many factors, right? So that's even true when it comes to palpating that area, right? So you're going through your abs, you're going through obliques, other soft tissue. There's nerve, artery, and veins in this area. There's a lot of different things. And the one thing that I talk about a lot is, fascia and how many fascial restrictions there are in there. So sometimes when you're releasing that anterior pressure, am I getting onto psoas or am I reducing anterior tension? So I could get as specific or as general. And to me, it doesn't matter. What matters is the results.
Of course.
Clinically.
Right. Anecdotally, you're just telling me.
Of course.
It helped it, regardless, even if I was palpating.
Correct.
Yeah.
Correct. So after, I go to people's psoas all the time. I'll go to psoas, I go to iliacus, I'll get in there because once I reduce that anterior tension, whether it's a fascial thing, whether it's a trigger point thing, whether it's a muscular thing, these things, when you do them in conjunction with each other, the release is there.
And not to mention that location specifically, not to call anybody out, but some people are more ticklish than others.
Some people are ticklish. Some people are very ticklish. So, Kev, what would we do from maybe an exercise, stretching, mobility perspective for a patient with low back pain?
Two exercises that I've been prescribing a lot that I really like, and even I do at the gym to kind of warm up and stretch and stuff like that. I like the common stretch where you kind of hang one leg off the table, keep the other knee bent to kind of support your lower back a little bit, getting that hip flexor, getting that quad in there as well. And I like stretching the internal rotators on the table, using your other leg. to internally rotate with the opposite leg, kind of like the performance stretch, but the other way.
Got it. Okay, great. So, those are definitely two great exercises that we incorporate here on a daily basis for patients with low back pain. And I mean, I feel that we have pretty good results with patients with low back pain by trying these strategies. A lot of patients come in from other PTs or chiropractors not really getting any relief. When you start to hear what they're doing clinically with them, you start to realize that, maybe they're not looking at it from a different perspective. So that's kind of where we come in. That's part of the evaluation process. Like, what are you currently doing? What have you done? What's not working? What approach have you tried? What approach haven't you tried? And then trying to kind of figure that out in terms of what's the best way to attack this from.
Right. I just think low back pain is just so much more complex than
it is
a lot of other injuries. There can, like you said, like you could attack it from the front, you could attack it from the back. It could not even be those two. It could be something else.
Of course.
I just feel like it's one of the biggest puzzles compared to other joints.
Yeah, I agree. I think that's about all the time we have today, boys.
Right.
So we're going to wrap this up. Any final thoughts, questions? What do we got?
You got me.
Got you?
This was a lot of fun.
Antonio, thank you for coming on.
Yeah, thanks for having me. I hope to be appear a few more times.
Yeah, we'd love to have you. This Monday spot is very good for you. I like it.
All right, Michaela's fired.
Michaela.
Antonio's coming in on Monday.
Antonio's coming in on Monday. Sorry, Michaela. All right, so at this point, this is where we'll wrap everything up. We'll come back in with videos of the trigger point release of the psoas and Kevin's demonstrations of the exercises we like to do for low back pain. So have a great 4th of July, and we'll see you guys next week. Okay. Gonna leave that in there. All right, welcome back, everybody. Next thing we're going to do is demonstrate the psoas release that we talked about earlier in the podcast. So we're going to have the patient lay down on their back. Again, this is good for low back pain and reducing intradiscal pressure in the spine. So somebody has a radiculopathy, unilateral back pain, their pelvis is off. A lot of times releasing tension in the psoas can have a big impact on them. So I'm gonna have the patient lay here, and you're just gonna relax, and we're just gonna kind of sink into the muscle here. Good. Feeling okay? Good. Good. I'm gonna hold this for about 20 to 30 seconds. Pressing a little bit deeper each time. And release. Very good. I follow that up with some stretching, and Kevin's going to demonstrate that for you next. Thanks.
All right, so as previously discussed, there's 2 exercises that I usually recommend, and one of them being internal rotation. So you usually put one leg on top of the other, crisscross, and you're going to shift your leg towards the other side, getting that stretch. Maybe you're going to get a little bit of glute medius, QL, lumbar erectors. Just going to hang out here for 20 seconds, 5 times, and you can switch to the other side. If you want to get a little bit more biased towards the top part, just bend your knee a little bit more. As you come down, I'm going to feel a little bit more towards the top as opposed to the bottom. And then the second one is we call it Thomas stretch, where you stretch the front of your hip flexor. You can take a strap. Put it around your foot. Let your leg hang off the table. Keep this knee bent so your back's a little bit more supported. And pull upwards like this so you get that deep stretch in your front of your leg. Hip flexor, you're going to feel quad as well. Same thing, 20 seconds, 5 times. If you want to feel a little bit more, just extend the time to 30.